Welcome to the newest dialogue in politics, community news, human interest stories, entertainment, and information from Eastern North Carolina. Janet Conner-Knox is an award-winning journalist with more than 25 years' experience in print, radio, and television. This is Talking with Janet.
Hi, this is Talking with Janet. I'm Janet Conner-Knox. Welcome. And tonight we have with us Dr. Tiffany Tyson. And Dr. Tyson is a doctor of psychiatric nursing practice and doctor of family nursing practice. Dr. Tyson is also an author. Her first book was Urban Princess, the novel, and now she's got Urban Princess, The Power of Choice, that came out this year. The Power of Choice, Urban Princess. Tell me, Dr. Tyson, you talk about the power of choice for women. Do women really have a choice? I mean, we're born into society. There's lots of expectations from the beginning of what women do, what they don't do. What kind of choices do we really have?
We do have choices. We should not let society dictate how we should look, feel, or act. Our foreparents have been exposed to that all their lives, but now we're in the age where we shouldn't let those things control us. We shouldn't, but we do. Our peers make the decision on what's cool to wear, what's not cool to wear, when you wear makeup, when you don't wear makeup. They kind of plan that out for us. So tell me, what makes this era any different than eras before? Women nowadays have more choices. They have choices about different careers that they want to pursue. We see a variety of ethnicities in different fields. The medical field itself has changed dynamically, drastically. There are more women doctors, physicians, PAs, nurses than previously that our parents, foreparents. Journalists. So the field now is very open. Even the military is allowing women to pursue different career options as well. But unfortunately, as we start to talk about women making choices, we still live in an era where women make less than men on the same job. Lots of political candidates are trying to base their candidacy just on having that included in some of their talking points. So, as we are telling women that they have a choice to do anything and go anywhere, are they also knowledgeable that they also are going to make less for doing the same job? I don't know if our young women know that or not, and that's why it's important for young women today to have mentors that they can relate to women in field choices that they're interested in. And so that way they can help guide them as they prepare for that particular career in life and talk about some of the differences that they'll face in the career. We often think of work-life balance and time off to raise that family or to have a child. And so more jobs now are trying to lean more towards that way and allowing women that time off for work, life, and children. So please tell me about your book. You've shown us your book, Urban Princess, The Power of Choice. When we get that book, what will we see in the book? So The Power of Choice, again, it talks about different things that teens go through in life, whether it's dealing with self-esteem, whether it's dealing with bullying, relationship violence, or substance abuse. Mm-hmm. And so after each short story, there are little worksheet activities that the individual can complete. And for example, in dealing with self-esteem, individuals need to learn what are positive things about themselves. They oftentimes may hear, you're too tall, you're too short, but one of the exercises has to deal with, they take a photo of what they look like now, maybe what they looked like a few years ago, and they pick out different things or highlight different things they like about whether it's their nose, their eyes, their hairstyle for that day. And also there's another, when we talk about careers, there's also a section in the book that deals with learning what interests you, because sometimes individuals don't really know what they want to do, so there's a little exercise there where they can pick out things that they're interested in, whether it's working with children, whether it's working with politics, music, art, dance, the fashion industry. And then there's also, in that same exercise, how do you go about pursuing that particular career? How do you set up an internship with a female in your area or male in your area that's already in that field? And then what type of education will you need to pursue that particular career?
Sounds like a guidebook. Seems like you probably should have written this for all of us when you were a little girl. You know, because I can see where young women probably don't know about what it is that could be for them unless they had a way to help them step by step.
That's true. In a recent workshop that I did, one of the things, the follow-up segment that we did as a support group, some of the young women, they really don't know what choices there are out there for them. And so this is kind of like a guidebook to say, hey, you know, you don't have to, you know, be a secretary or do the traditional things that your parents may have did. The whole world is open to you now.
What age group will benefit from the book?
Actually, 12 and up.
Wow, that's fantastic. And you say, and up to where?
Well, again, it depends. If you're a woman that, I would say 21-year-olds, individuals in their 20s are still trying to find themselves. They may...
In college?
In college, yes. Some of the individuals, they may have just gone off to college. They may be first-time individuals from their family that have actually went off to school before. And so it's a great tool for even college students, because you're dealing with a lot of things once you go off to college. Some are dealing with being away from home the first time. They're dealing with a roommate that they may not get along with, or they may even be dealing with dating someone for the first time. Some kids are what we call, they may not be as advanced in high school, and they may be experiencing their first relationship in college. And oftentimes in college, relationship violence does start between the age of 11 and 17, but
as early as 11?
Yes, statistics show, research has shown that there are individuals that are dealing with relationship violence even from 11 years old.
We're going to be right back with Dr. Tiffany Tyson. Dr. Tyson is a psychiatric nursing practitioner, and Dr. Tyson is also Doctor of Family Nursing Practice, and she's an author. The book is Urban Princess, The Power of Choice. We'll be right back right after this.
What's all this?
Dad, can't you knock?
Why are you doing this to me?
We're back with Dr. Tiffany Tyson. She's an author of a book, and it's called Urban Princess, The Power of Choice. It's a workbook as well as a book, and she says, and she's recommending it for children as young as 12 years old all the way through adulthood. Now, I certainly don't want to diminish any art form whatsoever, but it becomes, you know, a little disturbing when you see women shaking their butts, taking video of just that, scantily clad, and you kind of wonder why would they do that? And of course, men everywhere, of course, are saying, of course they do it for our pleasure and our enjoyment. But that says to me that they don't believe they have any value to remove so much of their clothing and to do that. Would you agree with that?
Well, I think we see so many things in the media now with videos and different actresses and musicians and magazines that they consider that the norm, or, you know, skin sales or gyration sales. But women are so much more than just their bodies. And some of it comes from sometimes family, home, parenting. Sometimes women, or as a child growing up, they may not hear that they're loved, or they may not hear positive things from their mom, or they may not have a father figure in their life. And so it's important to tell your child that you love them. So the first time that they hear it is not from a male, or that they're not looking for male approval through showing their skin or making suggestive movements.
I have young men in my family, and of course they have friends, and they look at all sorts of entertainment, I'm sure. But when you see the videos, you see many women in the videos. Are you saying that none of them have positive role models, and none of them have fathers or people in their family that would tell them that this is not what you should be doing to show your self-value?
There are some kids that come from families that tell them that they love them, but sometimes, again, you are empowered by what your peers do and say, and you want to fit in. And sometimes you do certain things because your peer said that's okay, or this is the new thing, or, girl, you need to show this video. And sometimes you are driven by that. And that's why it's important for young women to have positive role models in their life, positive women that they can relate to, or show them that they don't have to do certain things. And sometimes they are more likely to listen to that mentor than their parent, or a certain friend that's doing positive things with their life more so than their parents.
All right, so we just have to break in for one moment, because Dr. Tiffany Tyson has a t-shirt and a book that's going to be available, and she's going to give one away in the next 2 weeks. And so we need some of you who will be interested in winning this nice t-shirt and the book by writing us and telling us on email what you can do to empower yourself. And you got 2 weeks to do it, the best thing to empower yourself. And Dr. Tiffany Tyson is going to give away one of those wonderful t-shirts and her book, Urban Princess, The Power of Choice. And then we'll look at it, and whoever has the most, they can wear this Urban Princess t-shirt.
Yes.
And be a princess.
And be a princess.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Or awesome. You're scheduled to do a number of live appearances right here in Eastern North Carolina. Can you tell us when that is?
August 13th, I'll be at the Braswell Library in Rocky Mount. That event's from 10 to 4, showcasing, again, authors as well in the local community.
What is the one common topic that raises to the top with young people?
Well, a couple of themes. Again, sometimes how to fit in. Sometimes they may not be wearing the latest clothes or the latest fashions, and then also popularity. I don't think individuals always have issues with that, whether they're firstly starting high school or college. You're wondering if you're going to fit in, especially with college life. That's your first time away from home. And sometimes it's dealing with coping skills. Students also talk about how do they cope with preparing for, whether it's the SAT, preparing for sometimes exams. And students can often have anxiety and depression when they're dealing with, again, either how they fit in or don't fit in, or just peer pressure in general.
Now, I'm partial to Brotherside Entertainment. They are the executive producers of Talking with Janet, and I understand that they did a promo for you. Could you tell me a little bit about the promo?
Yeah, so we just filmed the trailer this past weekend. Very exciting. We had some different actors and actresses to come in and actually make this book sort of come to life. I think it's fun actually seeing the book in live action come to life. And it was just a really fun event for all.
So very quickly, when you're talking about teens and women in their early 20s, there is help. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, there is help. I also provide services for adolescents and young adults and adults dealing with mental health issues as well. And a lot of times our kids and our adults are dealing with anxiety, depression, bipolar, schizophrenia, so there's even help for that as well.
That's fantastic. Tell us how to get in contact with you.
I can be reached at tysonmultimedia.com. You can also follow me on Twitter as well as Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. The business number is 252-281-4884. You can also shoot me an email at tiffany@tysonmultimedia.com.
Dr. Tyson, we're so glad that you have come to be with us today. We want to invite you to come back and talk with us because we're going to have a whole panel. We want to talk about complexion and hair, short hair versus long hair versus kinky hair versus straight, and all of the peer pressure and all of the things that people go through with that. So if you have a chance, we would love to have you come back and help with that show. We are happy that you were watching. We want you to stay tuned. We got more to come. Thank you. This is Talking with Janet.
Growing up can be a challenge.
Tiffany and Jasmine are here. Did you not see the dirty looks that they were giving you?
Yeah, but they're still our friends, right?
I need to tell you something. Your little girlfriend, her father's in prison.
What? You gonna date to the dance?
Yeah, man, obviously. Who do you think I am?
I wrote your sister a note, and I asked her, does she like me? And what box did she check?
You're friends, you know that, right?
Yeah, friends.
Come on, Mickey, where are you?
I'm coming. I'm coming. Hey, baby.
No.
What's wrong?
I'm trying to think you don't understand what it means for me to be your man.
Look, I just got you a gift.
You don't listen. I already got this one. I told you to get something brand new.
I'm sorry, Tom. Please, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Get in the car.
Everybody has a story to tell about bullying. I know I have my share of stories of being bullied, but somehow now more and more people are talking about bullying. Children are committing suicide, attempting to commit suicide, and there are lots and lots of things that are happening with young people in connection to bullying. Our second part of this show today, we have Mr. Robert Smith, and Robert Smith is the founder of Wilson 360, an anti-bullying program. We have Sergeant, she's a Marine Sergeant, VIOLA SHIVERS. She's the Director of Operations of Wilson 360, and they're here to talk to us about what their program and what they're going to be doing to help with children who are being bullied in the Wilson County area. For people who don't know, Wilson 360 is a program that helps children who are being bullied. Am I right?
Yes,
Robert,
correct.
what made you decide to start a program like this?
It's interesting. We have always worked with programs of this nature, but when my grandson came here from Texas this past summer, well, last March, I believe, and he got to talking to me about some of the problems that he had, and he dealt with a lot of rejection, and so therefore I realized that we needed to focus more on that because it was more prevalent now than it has been in the past, and then reading the newspapers and seeing the statistics and so forth, and we have always focused based on where we thought the needs were. For instance, we had just gotten through working with the elderly, and now we sort of shift since we got that under control and working with the kids in grades 6 through 8, which and some exceptions we work with those in 9 and 10.
Well, I know you, Robert Smith, you have a very big heart, and I know you help people of all ages, children of all ages. I've witnessed it myself. But there's a thing now called cyberbullying where you don't even have to be in the neighborhood, or you don't have to be in the schoolyard or any place like that. You can be bullied in your own home over the internet. Sergeant Shivers, am I right?
They cyberbully due to social networking. There are many different programs that are available out there through social networking, i.e. Instagram, Facebook. There's another one, I can't recall the name of it, but they go through there and they say different things to the children that are a part of those networks, social media networks, and a lot of times the parents don't know that the children have logged on to those social networks. We had a young man once that his older sister at 18 years of age, and he's only 12 and needs parental consent or cannot, and he logged on to social network Facebook and hence experienced bullying through the cyber network.
When you talked to your grandson and found out about his being bullied, that really must have gotten to your heart.
It did. For instance, it caused me to look back in my youth in school when I was bullied, but we didn't have a title for it. In fact, probably couldn't even spell it. So therefore, the emphasis wasn't there. If somebody beat you up, you just went on home and mind your business.
That is true. That's true.
It's one of those things. You used to have a bad day.
But then a bad day happened the next day and the next day.
That's true, and it keep happening. In fact, my uncle, I think you met my uncle, the one that's the preacher up in New Haven, Connecticut. My grandma used to tell me how my uncle is about 86, 87 now. But when he was in school in New York, he had to fight his way home every day, literally up the stairway in Harlem where he lived at.
Wow.
Yeah, so, we have people have to actually go through hand-to-hand combat and dealing with because they've been bullied. And of course, we're aware of the fact that, and that's something else. We know we talk about cyberbullying, but we have not discussed the hand-to-hand combat bullying. Mm-hmm. And the people is going to beat you up unless you submit to their will. And that's another area that we haven't even gotten into yet. But what we try to do is work with those young folks who would, in those age grade 6 through 8, that we can make a different change in their life while they're still young, and we can bring about a change. And we don't want them to feel isolated. So it's very interesting when a child growing up and everybody else is over here doing something, and they're gonna pick on you because you are not a part of them, and you making them look bad. So therefore, they're gonna harass you, and you may have to submit. Now, our program is designed to give them something to look forward to. Give them something to look forward to. We got a program that this summer that we take them to for 5 days and 4 nights.
Wow, that's quite a challenge.
That's right.
To Paris Island, South Carolina,
and it's free.
Wow.
It's free. Don't cost them down.
I looked at the schedule, and it's going to be run like the military. I'm looking at chow and mess hall and all of that. And you're going to be running this, Sergeant Shivers?
That's right.
I will
Sergeant
be co-hosting
Shivers.
in charge. Yes, ma'am.
Wow.
What I wanted to expound on with Wilson 360 also is that we're bringing it into the schools where Judge Magistrate Smith has brought it into the school where he's working with the counselors. So it's also an approach for the children to step up and speak out about the bullying, to let someone know and feel confident in making the teachers and the counselors that are in the school, if the bullying is happening on the school premises, to make them aware that it is happening so that they can be focused. Some schools, middle schools as of right now, they have and operate their schools kind of really confined. They have the police officers walking the hallways and they have the cameras and the monitors. However, they're not available to see everything. So with Wilson 360, our approach is to reach and teach every child that if you're being bullied, that you don't have to stay silent. There is someone else out there who's being bullied. And you can also go and speak with your teacher or your counselor to rectify the problem so that it just doesn't go unnoticed.
How many students are you taking?
We are taking approximately 15 students, and 3 of them are females. So I'm excited.
We're going to come right back and we're going to talk in the next segment about what's going to happen for 5 long days at Parris Island. We'll be right back.
I did something terrible. I don't know what I was thinking.
This is dangerous.
I'm begging you. Don't hurt me.
Whoa, that's crazy.
Valentina, you're beautiful, 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 beautiful.
All right, so we are back with Robert Smith and Marine Sergeant VIOLA Shivers, who's going to be taking 15 teenagers to Parris Island, South Carolina. Now, I see, we keep saying you're a Marine Sergeant. You know, my husband was in the military, he was in the Army, and he said Marines were the first to go in, the last to come out. What are they going to find when they get there on Parris Island?
On the first day that they get there at approximately 1700 is our military time, which is 5 o'clock for the civilian personnel in the afternoon. And we're going to introduce them to the barracks life, and they're going to be living the same way as regular young men and women coming off the streets, going to Parris Island Recruit Depot. And we're going to teach them how to make their beds, i.e. the Marine Corps, we call them racks. So they're going to have to be able to make those racks properly and very neatly.
How long do they have to get that together?
We're going to give them approximately 10 minutes the first time, and then the second time we'll give them about 5 minutes. So it's going to be a really crash course.
What happens if they can't get it in 10 minutes? Do you make them cry? I'm only kidding.
Eventually, unfortunately, it is not our intent to make them cry, but in the Marine Corps, what we do is we rebuild the Marine. We rebuild the mindset to make leaders. So with Wilson 360, we're bringing down 15 of our young men and women that are from middle school. So it's just to encourage them and to build their stability and to make them leaders, because you can be a part of the establishment or you could be in the establishment. So we want them to encompass everything as leaders, to teach them the growth on how to be leaders. So that first day is going to be a broad introduction to how we make Marines, because aboard Parris Island, South Carolina, we make Marines.
Robert, when we went on break, you said the Marines were looking for what now? What did you say about this, Mr. Smith?
Marine Corps is looking for a few good men and women, and Wilson 360 is looking for a few good boys and girls.
All right.
That's right.
Yes, indeed.
And in fact, I thought about Frederick Douglass. It may not be a direct quote, but he did say it is easier to build strong boys and girls than to rebuild a weak man. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So we're trying to make them strong as they grow up. That's when you got the age 6 through 8 grade middle school kids. We can give them the fabrics they need. And partnering with the Marine Corps, with the ingredients that they instill in the young folks and the young Marines, we're going to get some of that same ingredient and put in our young children.
So now they're going through this training for a whole week, and so how does that help them when they go back to school in the fall? Like, this is 1 week in comparison to all year long. What will the 1 week do?
Have them walk around with their chest stuck out. Make them feel good about themselves.
All right.
That's what that's for. That's what it's for.
Absolutely, because we are going to teach them how to march. And with that marching, it's going to teach the young men how to walk with their chest stuck out, how to teach the young ladies how to walk with their heads held high. It is a 1 week course, and young men and women that come off the streets going into Marine Corps boot camp, they have 12 weeks. So we're going to pile 12 weeks into 1 week with the 15 young men and women that we're bringing aboard Parris Island.
So you've got the majority of the people, the guys that you're taking down might look at you, Sergeant Shivers, and say, she's a woman, I can take her. What do you expect?
I do, but when I give them that one stern look and tell them to move it, that's all we have.
I believe that's going to do it.
They're going to tuck their tails and run and just, be like, all right, ma'am, and we proceed on.
Fantastic,
Yes,
because
ma'am.
they're all the way down there in Beaufort. It's not like they can do anything about it, can they?
They have
Except
a long
conform.
race back.
Do you think that when all of this is over, that one day these children will look back and say, somebody cared enough to help me?
I think they would, because I did. That's the reason I'm doing what I'm doing today. I went and bought a van. The organization couldn't afford one. They couldn't afford the financial hardships in terms of a monthly payment and insurance, so I bought it myself. You can't tell the young folks, we're going to go someplace, and then when it's time to go, you have to tell them that, well, we didn't get the money we needed, so we can't go. So we have to put the money there. And what has happened is I had people to step up, friends of mine, friends of Wilson 360, and to take some of the slack off me, and which I very much appreciate.
So will the students get a chance to wear a uniform? Will they get to wear?
We're in hopes of having uniforms available, because we will take them into receiving. And anyone else that comes into the Marine Corps for boot camp, we have yellow footprints when you're entering the Marine Corps as a recruit. So we're also going to take them aboard those yellow footprints and teach them how to stand at the position of attention and to pay attention. And you asked if the children will walk away saying and thinking that, wow, somebody really took enough time to care about me to do this. I'm going to say yes, they are going to feel that way, and they're going to feel more dignified when they get back to middle school, i.e. 6th grade or 8th grade, whichever grade that they're going to, and know and feel empowered by spending their summer somewhere that maybe none of the other children within the school has experienced. I will say that, do I expect a few of them to cry, male and females alike? Yes, ma'am. But at the end, do I expect them to quit? Yes, ma'am. However, at the end of the week, and they sit back and rethink everything that they've done, that wasn't so bad.
And let me say this, you've done it the tough way. You're a single mom. You went through the Marine Corps. You've kind of preached. You're doing what you've preached. Am I correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, Sergeant Shivers, they should know if you didn't break, they're going to have to go through with it.
Also encompassing within that week, the children are going to get to experience the rappel tower, the gas chamber, and we have, they're going to be able to step on the grounds where somewhat live ammunition is going down range about 500 yards and step back, but they will also get to go into a room where we have a simulated range where they will have the opportunity to carry an M16 A2 service rifle and fire it and experience what it is.
I'm going to hope that you guys will come back after you've had your week-long program and tell us how it worked out, and maybe you'll even bring one of the students with you and let them share with us, with everyone, what happened. It's been my honor.
Same here.
Yes,
Same here. Thank you for having us.
Yes. We hope that if you're in this area, in the Wilson County area, and you're interested in helping Wilson 360, you can do that online. And if you have some other way that you'd like to get involved, please do. Bullying is a very, very serious thing that happens. It always has happened before, but we're looking at this program to help a whole lot of children. Thank you. Thank you for looking at Talking with Janet. If you or someone you know would like to be a guest on Talking with Janet, please contact us by email, brothersideent@gmail.com. Leave your name and contact information. Without that, your guest will not be considered.
This has been a Brotherside Entertainment production.